hello, everybody. I know it is not 7 a.m. I know that this is not the afternoon. I mean, this is not the morning, but I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about racism in America. God had kind of given me this word, and I didn't share it with anyone, but I was sitting here thinking, man, people need to hear this, because I was talking to the Lord concerning racism in America, and on January 6th. I was seeking the Lord, and I was asking him about some stuff. And so as I was seeking him and praying about it, and so I wanted to just release this and share it with you guys. And just kind of have there are a few things I want to say concerning all this other stuff. So y'all take it or leave it, take it, for what you think about it is, whatever. So on January 6th, 2022, this is what, in my prayer time, this is one of the things that this is just what I felt like God would say. So January 6th, 2022, this was the word that I received. It says, the insurrection is not over. There are rumors of sedition. It is not every red or southern state, because some could not afford to leave the Union. But Texas will live up to her name and try to go it alone. And so that was that piece of it. And then I asked the Lord. There's a prophet, prophet Tomi Arimi in Rig Nation, and I saw that he had given some word concerning Texas and Arizona and one other state. And I was like, God, why is it that you seem to like favor some of the most racist places, like, or the what in our mind is, it seems racist. And this is what the Lord said to me. And we have got to get this thing in our spirit. And so I wanted to share this, because sometimes it feels to me like, it's like, God, why is they look racist to me. That look racist. So God, what you gonna do about it? That's the way I be feeling. And so this is what I received. It says, don't be moved by who they say is racist and who is not. Racism is used as a ruse. That does not mean that racism is not real, but it is used. He said it is used as a ruse. The places they say are most racist usually are not. The places they don't point out racism are usually the places where it exists the most. No party is fighting racism. And when he says that, he's talking about political parties. That means Republicans are not fighting racism. Democrats are not fighting racism. No party is fighting racism. It is used to control people. Oh my goodness. Get that thing in your spirit. That racism and this whole, oh my goodness, this person's racist, that's racist, that's racist. It is used to control people. Racial fears swing the vote. But there is no change. Oh my goodness. Is that not what we see? That racial fears swing the vote, but ain't nothing changed. Not a thing has changed. Blacks voted Democratic, but did they help them? Do y'all see help? I don't see no help. Okay. Fear of Black uprising prompted some Republicans, but it doesn't change. What has changed? Parents are fighting over what will be in school books. You've been seeing that, but children are educated via social media. And so, man, when God began to just deal with me concerning this idea of racism in America, and the idea that it is being used, we are being used, people are being used as pawns in somebody else's games, in somebody else's game. Understanding that when God says that racism is used as a ruse, that there are people who will manipulate the racial situation, and all of a sudden they act as though they're woke and they're going to do something, and nothing changes. Do you see how in 2020 the African Americans rallied in this nation to get Trump out of office? Can somebody please tell me what it got us? Anyone, please tell me what has changed. Exactly. And you see that people were able to exploit white fear and start another movement. And so often racism, these shouts of racism are used to cue up movements and to cue up people and to get everybody riled up. But nothing has changed, and people are not Things are not, let me say this. When we talk about these police shootings, the majority of these police shootings, they're not happening in Mississippi. They're not happening in sundown towns. They're not happening in those places. Where are these police shootings happening? They're happening in our Democratic run cities. That's where they're happening. When you talk about that school to prison pipeline, where is that happening? That is there. The places. So when the Lord says to me, the places that no one points out racism, those are usually the most racist places. So I live in Pennsylvania and Northwest Pennsylvania. And this was my mom's hometown. My great aunt, who's 91 years old, she went to integrated schools here in this Northwest Pennsylvania town. She went to integrated schools, 80 years ago. Okay. So there was not segregated schools back then. My mother went to integrated schools. That being said, this is the most racist place I have ever lived. Absolutely most racist place I have ever lived. Do you know why I know it is so racist? Now, this is a Democratic town, but what is our Democratic mayor doing for us? And I say it because so often we do not take the time. We allow certain things to go on. And when I say it's the most racist place, you know why I think it's the most racist place? Because I look around and I see the oppression of the people. I see that you don't see a city full of black lawyers and black doctors. I can't find a black doctor. You don't see a bunch of black real estate agents. You don't see a lot of black excellence. Like I literally sit down and say to my husband, baby, we got to move back to Tennessee just so that my children can see black excellence. I got to go down. I got to go back south because we have not dealt with the racism in the systems in these northern cities. And so we sit back and we talk about how racist the South is. And we sit back and we talk about this and we sit there back and talk about that. But it's all a ruse because the people that we think is for us, they're not for us. They're not working for us. Please go read the autobiography of Dr. Malcolm X. He's not a doctor. Go read the autobiography of Malcolm X. Get to those last chapters. Go past the part after prison. Go past after prison. You can even, but when you begin to look at liberals versus conservatives, none of them are working for us. And I say that so we find ourselves in these things where we have to vote this way or we have to vote that way because somebody is racist. But they're just using it. They're just using us as pawns. They're using the black vote as pawns. And people the black vote should not be guaranteed to any party. The black vote should not be guaranteed to anybody. Why? Because unless you are working for the black vote, these people don't come to our churches until it's election time. And then you ask, can we come to your church? No, you can't come to my church. Why can't you come to my church? Because you ain't doing nothing for me. Because I'm not going to allow you to get and stand in my pulpit and act as though you are doing something for my people when all I know is you want a vote. And you only show up every 4 years. You only show up at election time. You only show up to play and shuck and jive with us. I understand that you don't care about me. You care about my vote. And so as a pastor, you want to come to my church. I don't want to see you at my church. I don't want to see you. And then we talk about racism. Everybody gets up in arms when somebody says the N-word. Honey, you can call me nigga all day long. Just make sure my money right. And the reason why I say that, I know that people don't like that, but we get up in arms about when people say the N-word. And then everybody's ready to say, oh no, they're racist. But nobody wants to say anything about housing. Nobody wants to say anything about the over policing. Nobody wants to say anything about the real issues. Nobody wants to say anything about the fact that our schools don't have enough money, and the fact that let's not just Jesus. When we talk about our schools, I'm talking about our schools are usually run by people who say they're for us. And so if we have been convinced ourselves that Republicans and the Republican Party is racist, maybe, but please understand, if your school is broke and there's nothing happening in your school district, and you live in one of these northern black run cities, or not even black run cities, Democratic run cities, and you still not getting no progress and nothing is still not happening, don't tell me about Republicans. Can we believe some truth? Can we walk in the truth? The word says, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And so we look at our school systems, and that prison, look, that school to prison pipeline, Republicans didn't do that. Republicans didn't do that. So don't tell me about Bubba over there and him being racist. I don't care about Bubba. Bubba is not your enemy. Bubba, you know what? Because when Bubba come in and him all racist, whatever, with his Confederate flag, doggone it, you see that coming. You see that racism coming. But the racism that we ignore is the racism that happens in our cities, where our children are taken away from our families are broken at greater rates. When your child ends up in children's services or whatever, and they're taking our children out of our home, that's the kind of racism I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that breaks people. Y'all want to talk about racism? You want to talk about stuff that's destroying the family? Now, I might say something that may not be very popular, but we have allowed the government to come in between the black man and the black woman. And so now all of a sudden, because the government has convinced some, not all, some, that they're going to be father and husband and everything. And so for a check, we think it's funny to call child support on a man. So then the job he loses because he goes to jail. We think that's okay. That's Democratic stuff. Democrats like to come up with rules and put parents in jail over stupidness. That's a Democratic thing that will put a parent in jail because your child, they call it truancy, and your child missed too many days of school. So we're gonna put the parent in jail. Please tell me how that's helping our community. Please tell me how that is helping us. It's not. It's not. And I say this because we sit back and we say, oh no, these are the ones who's for us. These are the ones who's for us. Oh my goodness, get this one out, get that one out. And so we end up being blinded by the assault that is happening to us on every hand. And so it's the ones who smile. And so when people are smiling in our face, and they say, oh man, we're going to help you. But what are you helping me do? Oh, we're going to make sure that you have money at the expense of what? You can have welfare as long as there's not a man in your house. Let's put him on let's put him on child support. And look, I understand that child support is needed, but the idea of locking men up because they're behind in their child support payment and putting them in jail, I have a whole problem with that. I have a problem with letting people come up with new laws to lock black men up. I just got a whole problem with that. But to sit back and say, oh no, they're for us. No, they're not. They're not. They are for destroying our families. That's what is happening. And so every time they come up with a new law and a new rule that's supposed to help us, if it ends up destroying our families, it is not for us. The worst thing that has happened to the black community has been the destruction of our family. And so when all these people with new welfare laws and all these new things, everything that they come up with, when it hurts our families, they're not for us. They're not for us. Look, Kanika. They take away your driver's license, they take away your job, and then they tell you got to pay child support. And then some of us, we're blinded to what is happening. We're blinded because we want that check. So we're blinded to the fact that we are crippling our Black men. We are crippling people. I'm sorry. I love Black people. I love everything. I love us. Okay. I love us. But let's be honest. Okay. So the child support system is broken, and we sit here and we elect these people and we let them do this thing to us over and over and over again. Somebody tells us they're gonna give us a little piece of money, and that little piece of money don't ever show up to help us. Because guess what? That little piece of money go into somebody's pocket who's in bed with a politician. And so when we talk about racism in America, let's be honest about racism in America. No party, listen to me what I'm saying. No party is fighting racism in America. And if no party is fighting racism in America, then you don't have to vote this party or that party, because ain't nobody doing anything about it. Ain't nobody doing anything about it. And so if that is the case, we have got to stop saying to ourselves, let me get the Republicans out, let me get the Democrats in, let me get this one out, let me and stop saying they are racist, they're not racist. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. I'm telling you, I used to live in Nashville, and I guarantee you that is a whole, and Tennessee is doing a whole lot better in race relations. Tennessee, the place where the KKK was founded. Nashville, where they just now took down that daggone monument to the leader of Nathan Ford, to the leader of the KKK. But I tell you what, Black people in Nashville doing a whole lot better than Black people out here. They doing a whole lot better. And I say this because when it comes to racism in America, we allow ourselves to be polarized. We allow ourselves to be pawns in somebody else's game. And so all I'm saying is don't be a pawn in somebody else's game. Don't allow don't allow cries about racism to allow you to be controlled and allow somebody else to profit off of your fear. Because that's what it is. There are people who are profiting off of our fear. We have to stop letting people profit off of our fear, whether you're Black or white. Because guess what? There are people who are profiting off of white fear of Black people. And guess what? There are people profiting off of Black fear of racism. Of course, racism exists. But if the people who are constantly telling you, oh my goodness, they're racist, they're racist, they're racist, but the people who are trying to call out racist are not doing anything to solve the problem, then they need to be quiet too. They need to be quiet too. And so when it comes to racism in America, I'm going to share this one more time in the event that you didn't hear me. Don't be moved by those who say this is racist, or, who is say this is racist or who is not racist. Racism is used as a ruse. The places they say are most racist usually are not. The places they don't point out racism are usually the places where it exists the most. No party is fighting racism. It is used to control people. Racial fears swing the vote. This is an election year. Do not allow racist fears to swing the vote. If they're not working for us, they can go. But there is no change. Blacks voted Democratic, but did they help them? Nope. Fear of Black uprising promoted some Republicans, but it doesn't change. Parents are fighting over what will be in school books, but children are educated via social media. So y'all can fight about critical race theory all you want. Your kids are learning on social media. That's where they spend their time. That's where they spend their energy. That's where, at any rate, that's it. That's it. That's all I wanted to say. And so I really believe that God has wisdom concerning race in America. But I think that we have not necessarily sought his wisdom, and we just listen to the talking heads, and the talking heads are not doing anything for us. All right, guys, I love you. Pray that God will continue to bless and teach you and in everything. All right, so you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.